do it live.
Wing it.
Just wing it. Just wing it?
Yeah, just wing it.
Just wing it.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching the Barry Beat podcast live from Fly on the Wall Productions, Main Street, Barre, Vermont. Want to welcome everybody for watching. We do want to, of course, we've got the lovely Raylene with us.
Good
Raylene.
evening, everyone.
And how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. I'm ready to get this town meeting over with.
As am I.
I am sure. Yeah.
Super ready. Do want to let everybody know that's watching that we're going to go through the ballot and we're going to explain the articles and stuff on there. And then that's once we're done with that portion of it, we're actually going to turn off the Barre City Community fan page, YouTube page, and the Facebook page, because we're going to go into opinions and some actual real opinions.
And we're gonna keep everything going on Barre Beat. Right. So if you want, you can just switch to Barre Beat podcast right now, or you can switch to Barre Beat podcast as soon as we're done going to the articles. We hope that you'll all join us.
Yes. And so far it looks like everybody's on the Barre Beat podcast right now.
Perfect.
And I'll just turn that off. I hope that wasn't obnoxious.
Uh-oh. What were you doing?
I had Twitch on, so it might have been playing in the background.
Whoops.
Anyway, so yeah, we just want to go through and just go through the ballot. So I'm just going to pull it right on up. And so this is the ballot for tomorrow. We did Ward 1, but they're all the same except for the councilors. So currently this is the Ward 1 ballot. Ward 2 will have a different person for the city council seats. It will be Teddy Wozniak and Rosemary Averill, and I'm actually just going to go and pull that up so people can see that. So this is what Ward 2 will look like. And as you can see, Rosemary and Teddy. And then for Ward 3, we'll get that up there as well. Tina Ruthier and Sam Stockwell. So, like I said,
and then Ward 1, we have
Timothy Bolton and Emil Shambell.
Yeah.
So pretty simple for the first part. Very straightforward. Do you want this counselor or this counselor to represent you for...
And we are holding our opinions until the end?
Correct. We're holding opinions until the end. And just so you know, we do have it on dual, so we can...
I'll be careful.
We'll be careful.
Yes.
But we want to go through the items and make sure that people understand what is happening here.
Yes.
So the first article is the city budget. I would recommend that people go back and watch the presentation by Nicholas Storelli Castro. Unfortunately, I did not do the links, but we can certainly do that later. And you can also look for it on the Barre Beat podcast.
Right. They're all numbered, and it will say his name right on it.
Right. Yeah. Right. So that'll give you an idea, and it's just, authorize the general fund budget of $13 million, $13,728,343, of which to be raised by local property taxes in fiscal year July 1, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. So that means we're going to be raising taxes to cover that $10 million that's there. The increase was a little under 5% for the municipal budget. So that's all that is, pretty straightforward. We have a pretty lean municipality for the most part. I said for the most part, I shouldn't have said that. We do have a very lean municipality, just for the record. Then underneath that, we have, shall the Barre City Voters authorized the sum of $403,000, $403,245 for street reconstruction and sidewalk improvements and the capital improvement fund. It's pretty straightforward. There's really no question about that. That's just allocating money to the street reconstruction and sidewalk improvements and capital funds. So that's the capital funds are things like, capital, like buildings and, equipment that could be under capital funds. This has actually gone down in the last 10 years or so. When I started city council, that was up to $800,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We dropped it down quite considerably. And that probably wasn't the greatest idea going back, but we had a tough budget cycle. One of the city councilors was intentionally trying to fail the budget, and that was not very good.
No,
sounds kind
not
of
at
familiar,
all.
Actually.
Yeah, it does sound kind of familiar. But we're saving our opinions.
Yes. But so we ended up dropping the budget down the second time, and unfortunately, we've never risen it back up, and we probably should. Article 3 is the one that probably most people have the questions about. What is the Central Vermont Public Safety Authority? So 6-8 years ago, Barre City joined actually it's probably 10 years ago, joined the Central Vermont Public Safety Authority. The desire was to regionalize public safety. And unfortunately, it didn't come to fruition. It was a wonderful goal, but it just never came through. And therefore, the board, the Central Vermont Public Safety Authority board, voted to dissolve the municipality that was the Central Vermont Public Safety Authority. So part of that process is we have to sign off on that dissolution. Should we do it? I mean, opinions, right? But I mean, honestly, this is what the board wanted. The Central Vermont Public Safety Authority said, hey, we want to dissolve. We have to go through this process
and
to
get
do
each
that.
Each party to agree or disagree.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. In either way, it's dissolving, but they have to go through this process. Then we have the Article 4, which is that combined list of all those nonprofits. And a couple of years ago, we did that. For city council, we decided to combine all those together. Implementation of it does bug me because there might be something on there that I don't want to support.
Right.
And I think a lot of people have complained about that, that they want to be able to say, hey, no, I don't want to support this, that, or the other.
But I will support this.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. However, that's not the way it is right now. So you get all or nothing. You can choose to vote for it all, or you can choose to not vote for it all.
And there are some really important things in there. And so does it say on the ballot each individual one? It
does. It says, so authorize the Barre Area Senior Center, $7,500, Barre Heritage Festival, $5,000, Capstone Community Action Incorporated, $3,000, Central Vermont Adult Basic Education, Barre Learning Center, $7,700, Central Vermont Council on Aging, $15,000, Central Vermont Home Health and Hospice, $28,000, Circle, formerly the Battered Women's Shelter and Services, $2,000, Community Harvest of Central Vermont, $1,500, Downstreet Housing and Community Development, $5,000, Family Center of Washington County, $3,500, Good Beginnings of Central Vermont, $1,000. Good Samaritan Haven, $1,500. Green Mountain Transit, $38,401. Mosaic Vermont, which was formerly the Sexual Assault Crisis Team, which is $2,500. Our House, of Central Vermont is $500. Retired Senior and Volunteer Program, $3,000. Vermont Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired, $1,000. Vermont Center for Independent Living, $3,000. Washington County Diversion Program, $2,500. And finally, Washington County Youth Service Bureau Boys and Girls Club, $5,000. And I understand that, Barbara.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was one that supported putting it together, but the implementation of it after doing it, I'm like, you know, actually,
that wasn't a great idea.
It wasn't the greatest idea.
Yeah.
So, and the problem is, I don't ever think about it until after the ballot's gone out, and we've
and
got
then
to
you look at it and go, yeah.
So we probably should revisit this, and if somebody wants to send me a reminder, I will certainly do that after the election.
We should say that some of these items, and I'm not sure exactly where people can find the information, but some of these items like Washington County Mental Health, Central Vermont Home Health and Hospice, a few others like that, they get their money from many different communities. What they're asking Barre City for is not what they need in its entirety. They just ask each community to contribute a lot. And one thing that I know from having Washington County Mental Health and Central Vermont Home Health and Hospice both on Aired Out, we learned that the amount of services in the city of Barre is huge, but the ask is quite small compared to what they're putting out there. So I just think it's important that people understand and know that some of these things, the ask is from many communities to make a budget. Yeah.
Very good. And speaking about Washington County Mental Health, we certainly do have them on the ballot as well. They were separated, and the reason why that they were separated was both the People's Health and Wellness Clinic and the Washington County Mental Health. As you can see there, they're Article 5 for the People's Health and Wellness Clinic. The reason why it's separate is because they came to city council after the deadline, and they had asked for an exception to be put on the ballot. They are usually always on the ballot, and they've always been approved. So we've always just put them back on. But there was some, mishap with people leaving, staff leaving due to COVID reasons. So they came in, asked us to put it back on. So that's the People's Health and Wellness Clinic, $3,000. And then Heather Slayton came into the council chambers asking for, some for an exception as well. And that was for $10,000 for Washington County Mental Health. That's on there as well. And you are welcome, Heather, which she writes, which I appreciate. Dang internet, hanging mine up.
Yeah, it hung up her process. And
did
everything.
it? Oh,
well, because that was hers was because of the storm, and she was without internet and stuff.
Oh,
so that was our first big storm where we opened up the shelter and all of that as well.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So does this mean I can't talk smack about Heather now?
Yes, you have to stop it now. Did you see the nice post she sent you? She even said, "I love you."
Oh, yeah. The what? What? I'm sorry. What?
She sent you a nice post, a nice comment.
Oh,
she even said, "I love you."
I know.
That was. So you better. Yeah. So you better stop talking smack, man.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's $10,000 for Washington County Mental Health, and then that was Article 6. So then Article 7, which is BADC, and BADC came to City Council and asked for an additional $20,000 on top of what Nicholas had offered. The reason for that is because they're doing a marketing campaign, and they actually hired a marketing director, and we all know who that is. That's Shannon Alexander, and she's going to be doing the marketing, and we know how good she does with with what, she's been doing it, and she does a pretty good job.
Pictures and videos, and I mean,
Right.
she does pretty amazing work.
Right. So that's what that is. That is basically Shannon's position.
And her position is what is hopefully her position in marketing Barre will bring more business.
Yeah.
It will help with development at Prospect Heights to bring more housing. The gain is pretty good,
right.
pretty significant.
And that's what people.
Is that an opinion? No.
Well, I was going
know.
to tamper that with the people that don't support it, which is the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks that they shouldn't be getting this position because BADC hasn't delivered on something. So I'm not, but we'll talk about that in
just a little bit.
In just a little bit. So
oh my
if
gosh,
anybody's watching
my tongue's going to be bleeding by then.
I know. So anybody that's watching on the Barre City Community fan page, we're just going through the ballot right now. When we get to the point where we want to start adding our opinions, we're actually going to bump it over to the Barre Beat page only. And you'll have to go there to hear our unvarnished opinions about things. Mm-hmm. But we don't want to do that on the Barre City Community fan page. No. So that's what the BADC is. And then you get down to the Central Vermont Public Safety Authority, Article 1. Again, it's, shall the voters of Central Vermont Public Safety Authority pursuant to blah, 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 vote to dissolve the Central Vermont Public Safety Authority. Very clear cut is what it is. It's, dissolving that organization. The board has decided to do that, and they're just doing the steps to make it happen. Mm-hmm. Then, of course, we've got the school board, or the Barre Unified School District. You'll have 4 out of the 3 options, and you'll have 4 options, but you can only select 2. So there's myself, there's Sarah Hellman, Ben Moore, and Christopher Paul Roberts, who's on the ballot. So you get to choose not more than 2. Not more than 2. No, wait. Yeah, not more than 2. So it says vote not more than 2. So you get to choose 2 people on there. Mm-hmm. Then Article 2 is, shall the voters of Barre Unified School District authorize the district to borrow money spending receipt payments in the state education fund by the insurance notes or other payable later than date received. So I saw a video online, and I don't know if, I feel like the person didn't know what that was. So it's referred to as a RAN, RAN, Revenue Anticipation Note, I think. Mm-hmm. Barre City is when the municipality side does TANs, TANs, which is Tax Anticipation Notes. Mm-hmm. The RAN is Revenue Anticipation, because we're getting the money from the state, not directly from the voters. Mm-hmm. It's a normal process. It's not, oh no, we have to do this because we can't pay our bills. It's a normal process that happens all the time. Mm-hmm. It's nothing unusual. It's, if you vote no to that, you are significantly hampering the district. And even if the budget was at 8%, that item would probably be going back out to have that voted on. Uh-huh. That would be my guess, because you have to have authorization to borrow the money using those revenue anticipation notes.
Okay.
Then Article 3, shall the voters of Barre Unified Union School District approve the school board to expend $53,963,133, which is the amount the school board has determined to be necessary for ensuing the fiscal year. It is estimated that the proposed budget, if approved, will result in education spending of $17,228 per pupil, equalized pupil. Mm-hmm. Very important to say equalized pupil. This project spending per equalized pupil is 6% higher than spending from the current year. And that's the budget that everybody's talking about, right? You know, it's huge online. People are saying vote no. People are saying vote yes. The people that say vote yes, they say vote yes because the school district has had, you know, surpluses in the $2.3 million range for the last couple years. And they're saying that we can work within our budget to get rid of some of that surplus. The people that are saying no because it's not enough money to cover the expenses for the school system. And the line item budget, and I don't know if it was approved, the line item. It was really weird, that whole process. If I was on school board when that happened, I would be really ripped or nipped or whatever. I would be very angry on how that went down, because it was just, usually what happens is, you know, for city council, you know, we say we want it at 3% or 2% or a 0% budget. And then, you know, Steve at the time or Nicholas will just come forth and say, this is what it looks like. Do you want to do this? And we look at it and we're like, no. And then we start adding things back in and the budget goes up.
And they took a lot of time, line by line by line. The city did. Nicholas did. I mean, a lot of thought went into the process.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those things take time.
It does. So that's that. And then, of course, shall the district authorize the board of Barre Unified School District to transfer $2,350,301 of the audited fund balance, as I said about the fund balances, and place that into capital projects fund. And it's just basically, you know, taking that money and put it into the capital fund. To use for capital expenses. And from that fund, assign $456,780 to the Spalding High School asbestos remediation, assign $350,000 to the Barre City roofing, and assign $719,000 to prepay the Spalding High School lighting upgrade lease. So it's pretty clear. That's all there is to it. Then there's the Career Center, which I don't know anything about this. These are people I don't know.
Right. And it is, what do you mean, the people running?
The people that are running, I don't know who they are. And, you know, I'm just really...
And this is a multiple town...
Correct.
Vote as well. It's voted all of Washington County, correct?
Correct. It's all of Washington County. And there's, you know, it's really frustrating. We voted to give that authority up. It actually angers me that we did that last time. I voted no on that because we lost authority over the Central Vermont Career Center. We gave it up to a regionalized. Now in the way that they're doing the ballots, they're like commingling them. So like, I don't know how Barre City voted. You know, Barre City could have said, you know what, absolutely no, 100%. And we wouldn't know the difference because Montpelier did 100% yes. And it's like, well, that's not okay. You know, we're not getting... You know, I like having that information and the whole commingling thing. I hate it. I hate it when we do it for city stuff. I like knowing what my ward thinks. You know, I don't like the idea of, you know, lumping them all together and, you know, then counting them. No, but not my decision. I voted no on that.
Right. And it's what they do.
Yep. So I don't know any of these people. But you know what? I'm just going to say vote for Lyman Castle, vote for Terry Steele.
No, you can't say that because it's not time yet.
There's no way somebody's going to be able to do an efficient write-in campaign for that position. I can guarantee that.
Okay. So yeah,
It's like, although, what's her face up in Collins? What's her face up in Alaska did a write-in campaign.
No.
What was her name? Murkowski?
I don't know.
Somebody online, you've got to know who I'm talking about. She did a write-in campaign in Alaska against a senator against the senator that beat her in a primary, and she won with a write-in campaign, which is
mind-blowing.
It's really mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah. And then, of course, it's shall the voters of Central Vermont authorize to expend $4,135,602, which is the amount of money to run the Central Vermont Career Center. So I hope that answers any questions. If you guys got some questions, if you could just ask them in the chat so that we can answer them real quick. Want again remind folks that are watching on the Barre City Community fan page that in a couple minutes after we determine there's no additional questions, we're actually going to turn the stream off on the Barre City Community fan page and the Facebook page and the YouTube page, and start talking our opinions, which
on the Barre Beat
podcast only. So we just want to give folks the heads up on that. Lisa Murkowski. Thank you, Heather. Heather knew it. She had my back.
Leave it to Heather.
She had my back. She Googled that. $10 says she Googled it. $10. You know she Googled it.
You'll never know, will you?
Oh, she'll tell me. She'll say it. She'll admit. She won't lie about it. Will you? You won't lie. So yeah, I don't see any questions. Do you have any questions about the ballot? Any
I do
questions
not.
that came up?
No.
That you can think of?
Not that I can think of. And like we said, and if you don't feel comfortable with the answers and you have a specific question, reach out to Michael. He's always willing to answer.
Yeah.
I mean, you always do.
$20 says she has issues. Heather does?
Or Lisa Murkowski.
Could be. I don't know. All right. So once again, if you're watching on the Barre City Community fan page, I'm not seeing any questions about the ballot. If you want to see our opinions, then you're going to have to jump over there. We're going to take a quick intermission, like really quick, so that I can turn off the
and I have to go spit the blood out of my mouth because my tongue has been bleeding for 20 minutes now.
All right, so we're just gonna put the intro scene on and give it a few minutes. A few minutes of fun, right?